Thug, you had other women coming to see you. You had Mariah Sanchez signing that motherfucking list. You had that boy David Haney, baby mama, crying on the motherfucking phone because you putting that slime dick in her.
You wake up to see screenshots flying across your timeline, captioned with one line that stops you cold. Charleston White just leaked Young Thug's private messages. The claim spreads fast, pulling thousands into heated debates over whether the Atlanta rapper was confronting accusations of snitching behind closed doors. According to online chatter, Charleston White allegedly shared a series of heated exchanges that he says came directly from Young Thug. The messages, if authentic, reveal raw words exchanged after the resurfacing of an interrogation clip that had already stirred controversy around Thug. In them, Thug reportedly defends himself against accusations that he gave up information during questioning, while White pushes back and questions his credibility. The problem? Nothing has been confirmed. No official statement has come from Young Thug, and Charleston White has been known to lean into provocation to get a reaction. Even those sharing the screenshots admit the authenticity is uncertain. Still, in the current climate, with Thug fighting for his career and his name, the possibility of leaked private messages adds another layer to the storm. Fans are split. Some believe the screenshots reflect real tension, citing the timing as suspicious. Others argue this is nothing more than a rumor being weaponized to fuel chaos around a man already facing one of the most publicized trials in hip-hop. The uncertainty is exactly what makes the leak so combustible. It might be real, it might not, but the damage to Thug's reputation is done either way. And now people are left wondering, if these messages were real, would they show a man desperately trying to clear his name, or a star whose own words only make the snitching allegations harder to shake? The rumor of Charleston White leaking heated messages with Young Thug didn't just stay on a few accounts. It spread like wildfire across blogs, group chats, and hip-hop circles. Screenshots began circulating on Instagram and X, with captions framing them as proof that Thug was furious about being branded a snitch. In the alleged exchange, Thug supposedly fired back at Charleston, dismissing the claims as lies, while Charleston pressed him with accusations tied to the resurfaced interrogation clip. But here's the catch: none of it has been verified. Charleston White has built a reputation on stirring controversy, and critics argue that this could be another case of him fanning flames to stay in the spotlight. Supporters of Thug were quick to label the screenshots fake receipts, pointing out inconsistencies in formatting and language. Others, however, didn't hesitate to run with the idea that the messages were real, fueling even more speculation about Thug's state of mind behind the scenes. The impact was immediate. Fan pages reposted the alleged leak, YouTube channels dissected the screenshots line by line, and comment sections exploded with debates over whether Charleston had crossed the line, or if Thug was finally being exposed. The very uncertainty of the situation, real or not, gave the rumor staying power. For Thug, the timing couldn't be worse. With the snitching allegations already creating cracks in his public image, even the suggestion that he's firing off angry messages in private makes him look vulnerable. And while Charleston has not provided clear proof of authenticity, the fact that so many believe the screenshots could be true says as much about the public's perception of Thug as it does about the messages themselves. And now the question lingers. In an era where rumors can move faster than facts, how much damage can a single unverified screenshot do to someone already under the weight of a criminal trial? The rumors about Charleston White leaking messages landed at a time when Young Thug was already battling a storm of scrutiny. Just days earlier, an old interrogation clip resurfaced, showing him questioned in connection with a 2015 shooting involving Lil Wayne's tour bus. In the footage, Thug appeared to mention rapper Pee Wee Roscoe, a moment that critics quickly labeled as incriminating. To them, it looked like he was shifting blame, a move that clashed with the tough stance he had taken against others, accused of cooperating with authorities. The resurfacing of that video reignited the conversation about snitching within hip-hop, with fans pointing out the irony. After all, Thug himself had been critical of Gunna, a YSL affiliate accused of cutting deals to avoid harsher sentences in the RICO case. Now the same accusations were being leveled at him, and social media wasted no time calling him a hypocrite. Young Thug pushed back hard. In a post on X, He insisted the clip was being taken out of context. "They didn't play my interrogation video in court, 'cause I helped my brother rat," where he wrote, trying to flip the narrative and frame his words as protection, not betrayal. For some, his denial was convincing. For others, it only deepened suspicion. Meanwhile, voices from the rap world weighed in. Rallo, another Atlanta figure, openly questioned Thug's explanation, suggesting the clip spoke for itself. But Pee Wee Roscoe, the very person mentioned in the interrogation, reportedly cleared Thug's name, insisting he hadn't been betrayed. The back and forth only added more confusion, splitting fans into camps of defenders and critics. And now people are left asking, if even those closest to the case can't agree on what the interrogation meant, how can anyone be certain where the truth really lies? As the interrogation clip circulated, one word echoed louder than the rest: hypocrisy. Fans remembered how young Thug had distanced himself from Gunna, a longtime collaborator, after Gunna accepted an Alford plea deal in the sweeping YSL RICO case. To many, Thug had made it clear anyone cooperating with prosecutors, no matter the reason, was no longer part of his circle. That's why the resurfaced video hit so hard. In it, critics claimed Thug was doing the very thing he condemned, offering up another name to protect himself. On social media, the comparisons poured in. Memes mocked him for holding Gunna to one standard while allegedly failing to uphold it himself. Comment sections filled with lines like, "So when Gunna does it, he's a rat, but when Thug does it, it's different." The debate wasn't just about two rappers, it was about the culture of loyalty in hip-hop. For years, the label of snitch has been the ultimate mark of betrayal, capable of ending careers and reputations. Thug had been vocal about that code, and now, some fans felt the code was turning on him. Still, others pushed back against the narrative. Supporters argued that the clip was being twisted, insisting Thug's words weren't incriminating but protective. They pointed to his own public statement on X as evidence that he was helping his brother, not betraying him. Pee Wee Roscoe's defense also gave weight to that interpretation, muddying the waters even further. But the damage may already have been done. Once the word snitch attaches itself to an artist in the rap world, it's almost impossible to erase, no matter the context. And with the trial still looming, every rumor, every leak, and every accusation only magnifies the pressure. And now the question stands: in a culture where perception often matters more than proof, can young Thug ever truly separate himself from the same label he once used against others? While young Thug fought to push back against the allegations, Charleston White emerged as one of the loudest voices, ensuring the conversation didn't fade. Known for provocation and shock value, Charleston thrives on inserting himself into high-profile controversies, and this situation was no exception. The rumored leaked messages only added fuel to an already raging fire, with White positioning himself at the center of the storm. His alleged screenshots painted a picture of direct conflict with Thug, even if their authenticity remained questionable. To some, this was classic Charleston, using rumors as leverage to spark conversation, stir emotions, and keep his name attached to headlines. To others, it looked like a calculated attack, designed to poke holes in Thug's credibility at a time when his public image was already under siege. Charleston's tactics split public opinion. Supporters argued that he was exposing what others were afraid to say out loud, pushing Thug to address accusations instead of brushing them aside. Critics, however, accused him of clout chasing, suggesting that he capitalized on a vulnerable moment to elevate himself. Regardless of which side people fell on, Charleston had succeeded in the way he often does, by making himself impossible to ignore. The irony of the situation is that Charleston doesn't need to prove the messages were real for them to be effective. The rumor alone has kept conversations about Thug's alleged snitching alive, ensuring that every time Thug's name trends, Charleston's isn't far behind. And in the fast-moving world of hip-hop discourse, where perception can matter more than facts, Charleston White's ability to keep rumors breathing is a kind of power in itself. And now people are asking, is Charleston White truly exposing something hidden in plain sight? Or is he simply reminding everyone that in today's culture, sometimes the rumor is more valuable than the truth? As the snitching debate intensified, two familiar names stepped into the spotlight: Pee Wee Roscoe and Rallo. Both men had connections to the Atlanta scene, but their responses to the resurfaced clip and swirling rumors about young Thug couldn't have been more different. Pee Wee Roscoe, the very person mentioned in the interrogation footage, publicly cleared Thug's name. To him, there was no betrayal, no evidence of disloyalty. His defense carried weight because he was the one directly implicated by the video. Supporters of Thug leaned heavily on Roscoe's words, insisting they were proof the snitching label didn't apply. If the man supposedly wronged wasn't calling it betrayal, then why should anyone else? Rallo, however, took the opposite stance. He openly dismissed Thug's explanations, throwing sharp words that cast doubt on the rapper's credibility. For Rallo, the clip was incriminating enough, regardless of Roscoe's defense. His comments added fuel to the fire, framing Thug as someone who had broken the very code he once held over others. The split between Roscoe and Rallo made the situation even murkier. Fans who wanted to believe Thug pointed to Roscoe's loyalty. Those convinced he had slipped pointed to Rallo's skepticism. The result was a conversation that refused to die down, constantly shifting, depending on which voice people chose to trust. And in the middle of it all, young Thug remained firm, denying the accusations and insisting the video was being twisted against him. Yet, with figures like Roscoe and Rallo pulling in opposite directions, the public was left in a space where certainty seemed impossible. And now the lingering question is this: when even insiders can't agree on what counts as betrayal, who gets to decide whether young Thug crossed the line? The people directly involved or the court of public opinion? By now, the picture surrounding young Thug is one of contradictions and uncertainty. On one side, rumors swirl of Charleston White leaking heated private messages, screenshots that claim to capture Thug defending himself against snitching allegations. On the other, there are denials, with Thug himself insisting the entire narrative has been twisted. Add to that a resurfaced interrogation video. Voices like Rallo fanning the flames and Pee Wee Roscoe standing in Thug's corner, and the result is a storm of confusion that refuses to quiet down. What's clear is that perception has become just as powerful as proof. Even unverified screenshots have the ability to shape the conversation, making fans question Thug's loyalty, his credibility, and his place in a culture that treats the word snitch as a career-ending scarlet letter. For Charleston White, the leaks, whether real or not, have cemented his role as a disruptor, a man who can keep his name attached to the biggest controversies, simply by fueling speculation. For young Thug, the stakes couldn't be higher. Every rumor, every resurfaced clip, every unverified claim chips away at his image during a time when he's already under immense legal pressure. Whether or not these rumors ever get confirmed, the damage is done in the court of public opinion, where silence, denial, or explanation can all be twisted into narratives of their own. And so the question hangs over everything. In a world where rumors move faster than facts, are we witnessing the unraveling of young Thug's reputation piece by piece? Or will he find a way to silence the noise and reclaim control of his story before it's too late?